You are currently listening to a radio project day about the Peter Robinson Bicentennial, broadcasting through the facilities of CFFF 92.7 FM Trent Radio in Peterborough, Nogojiwanong. From 11 a.m. until 7 p.m., all of our programming will be about the 200th anniversary of the Peter Robinson Emigration Program, or about local history in some way. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you stick around for some historical community radio. Hello, Trent Radio. I'm Eddie Sweeney. I'm, like I said about an hour ago, I'm the staff member that put this together. I'm the programming and volunteer support coordinator. I hope you've enjoyed the shows that you've been listening to since 11 this morning, and I have another guest in the studio with me today. Do you want to introduce yourself?
My name is Ola, and I'm so excited to be here.
So Ola, actually, this is my first piece of evidence that QR codes work, because I think that you might have been the only person that was a complete stranger to Trent Radio that signed up to this. Yeah. Because I think everybody else was either already a programmer or followed us on social media and saw it that way. So I'm glad that my poster did something that I put up in a coffee shop.
It did, and that's why I'm here. Mm-hmm. Thank you for having me.
So most of this show it's just going to be Ola has a bit of a creative writing experiment or project in front of us here that you're going to perform and produce. And are you ready to go?
Yes, I am.
All right, I'm turning my mic off and you're ready to go whenever you want.
Thank you. Hello, Peterborough. My name is Olajumoke Fatiki, but my friends here call me Ola. And today I'm sharing a presentation titled Letters Across Time, a radio reenactment, in commemoration of the 200th anniversary of the Peter Robinson emigration. So today, I'm definitely going to take you back in time to 1825, when an Irish woman settled here in Peterborough, and she wrote a letter about her new life. 2 centuries later, I arrived here in Peterborough, and I began to wonder, what has changed? Well, I'm inviting you to find out in the letter. Let me put this caveat out. The accent might not be very Irish, but I hope you enjoy the story. So, Brigid's letter. Dear stranger, I do not know who you are, nor when you will find these words, but I write from a place of uncertainty, a clearing not far from Otonabi River. We arrived only 2 weeks ago, sent from Cork to this new colony with promises of land and a fresh beginning. They said this place is now called Peterborough. The land is wild. The winters are harsher than any we knew back home, and the silence here is louder than the crowd in Dublin. We have been given tools, but no instructions, seats, but no guarantee. I miss my mother's bread. I miss the sound of the fiddles and even the soft rain that used to dampen our hopes back home. But still, there is something about this soil, something that asks you to try and try again. If you too have journeyed here from somewhere far, I hope you find comfort in knowing that you are not the first to feel unready, to feel unknown or unseen. But perhaps like us, you will plant roots that grow stronger with each season. And here's something I want you to keep and never forget. Hold fast, because there is a future here, even if we cannot see it clearly yet. Do not give up. Us in hope. Brigid. April 12, 1825. Peterborough settlement. Now that was a letter from Brigid, and hearing Brigid speak about our first days here in Peterborough made me think about my own. So I took a moment to write her a response from my time to hers. And here's how that reads. So now I'm moving to my own letter. Dear Brigid, your words found me nearly 2 centuries later on this same land, in a city that now hums with lights, languages, and layers of history. My name is Olajumoke, and I came here not by ship, but by faith, and a plane ticket marked with more questions than answers. When I arrived here, the systems were different. The roles were confusing, and my voice didn't always seem to fit. But then I found a small community center here that reminded me of home. I heard stories in the whispers of libraries, kitchens, and parks. And slowly, I began to feel less alone. I started to feel a deep sense of belonging. And like you, Brigid, I miss the familiar. I miss home. I miss the food, the festivals, and the comfort of not having to explain where I am from or how to pronounce my name, or seeing the surprise when I say English language has always been my first language. I am learning that starting over is not about erasing where we are from. It's about honoring it and choosing to build something new with it. You survived, Brigid. And in some way, I think that I'm surviving this because you survived. Our stories may not be exactly the same, but you see that thread, the courage to begin again, that we share with deep gratitude. Olajumoke, a newcomer, a dreamer, a storyteller, 2025. As I close today, dear listeners, if there's something that Brigid's letter reminds me of, it's that the courage to begin again is timeless. 2 centuries apart, but the heart of our stories remain the same. So, whether you've been here for generations or you just arrived yesterday, I say to you, welcome, because your story is part of Peterborough's story now. And that, I think, is worth celebrating. Thank you so much for listening. I am Olajumoke, and this is Letters Across Time. Thank you.
That was so special. That was very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Eddie.
Thank you for sharing that on Trent Radio.
Thank you.
I've got so many questions. Did you write that? Did you write that after you signed up, or was this something you were already thinking about?
So it's always been an idea on my mind, and I think that coming across the Trent Radio ad just sort of brought it to life. So I was able to put the sketches together, and the opportunity to present these as comes. And
so you said that you just described yourself signing off in that letter as a storyteller. In what ways are you a storyteller? Is that something, does that mean you're a writer? Does that mean that's something that's oral to your friends and family? How are you a storyteller?
I'm excited to answer that. So I'm a career storyteller. Yeah, I enjoy helping people get unstuck in the areas of their career, especially newcomers and immigrants, like me, who I've traveled many miles to be here, and we're trying to find our foot, to feel that sense of belonging, like you can hear in my letter. So I help immigrants to own their stories, by leaning it into what they've always known and acclimatizing to the new environment that they found themselves. So yeah, that's exactly how I do it.
Yeah, no, that's great. And I think that this connection, like you writing this, connecting this very specific immigration from 200 years ago to all other emigrations and immigrations, like there are similarities to when you move for any reason.
Absolutely.
I think, that's very powerful. And,
thank you.
As someone who's not a newcomer, I've never moved countries. It's something that is it's not close to home for me, and it is for you, and it comes through in those letters. Yeah, I just that's so great. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. I feel very blessed to get this opportunity to be able to share, because like you said, I know that a lot of immigrants, can relate to this. We found ourselves in that situation, but it feels comforting to know that we are not the first to journey this. Some people have been there, and we can rely on their hope, knowing that if they succeeded, we can also succeed. Yeah. Thank you.
No, that's great. Yeah, I think that I want to see more. I would like to see more newcomers come in to the studio and produce a show. Like we have a bit of a partnership with the New Canadian Centre, that people that are involved with the centre get free membership to Trent Radio, so they can produce a show. So one of the things that I'm going to try and encourage in the fall is like specifically more third language programming, so like non-English or French, just encouraging newcomers to try and have a show in their first language. And I know you said English is yours, but it's definitely not everybody. Like most newcomers that are at the New Canadian Centre speak something else as their first or second or third language. And
I get that all the time.
Why do you think that is?
Well, because people are coming in from, different places, and I don't know how well traveled, people also are. For some reasons, it looks like the French people are the ones that first moved down here. So there is that perception that most people, because that's what I've seen, it's assumed that, you're a French speaker until I say, oh, I'm not a French speaker. I speak English language. And oh, really? How come? And speaking of New Canadian Center, I think that was the first time I got that impression when someone walked up to me. How come you speak so good? How come, you can speak in English language? I'm like, English language is actually my first language because we were colonized by the British, because I'm originally from Nigeria. And she was like, wow, it was surprising to her. So since then, I made it a point of responsibility to, when I'm meeting people, to let them know that this is my first language. And I don't know where that impression came from, but I make it a point of duty to sort of educate people and let them know.
I actually just found out recently that English was the most spoken language in Nigeria.
Yes.
I didn't know that until just a few weeks ago also. So
I imagine.
So we were talking before we had the mics on that you do a podcast, and that you saw that we had our program proposals. Did you have fun doing that on the radio?
Hi, my name's Naomi, and I'm the host of the Notes and Quotes podcast, a space for casual and honest conversations about everything facing young adults today. From mental health struggles to figuring out your future to navigating the climate and social justice crisis of our world. These things should not be faced alone. Come hear me share vulnerable self-reflections, realizations, and eye-opening conversations with incredible guests. This is a community by one 20-something for every 20-something. Can't wait to have you join.
Absolutely. I felt every line coming alive. I love.
And I'm not going to bind you to this, but you said you were at least considering it and thinking about that, having a radio show as an option when you saw that there was a program proposal. What would you want to do if you did have a radio show starting in the fall? And don't worry, I'm not holding you to this. If you did sign up, what would you want to make your show about?
Absolutely what I'm passionate about, and which is helping people, in the area of their career, whatever that looks like. So that's like where I am right now, trying to figure out, because that's the theme though, helping people with their career, especially immigrant newcomers like me, how they can make better informed career choices, how they can fully integrate into this work environment. So stuff like that are things that I would like to discuss. So the model or the format is what I'm unable to, whether I'm just going to be going solo, whether I would have to bring on guests, with me to have that done. I haven't put all of that together, but if I do get a chance to, that's what I would love to speak about. And you said something that I found interesting, because I currently volunteer at the New Canadian Center. He said there was a slot there for newcomers who are interested in public shows, and I'd like to jump on that.
Well, so there's two things. We are part of the New Canadian Center Welcome Pass, which I think is something that all sorts of organizations and businesses in the area.
I think I got it. I got that when I came in.
Either give coupons, or I'm not sure exactly what it is, but part of it is that they get a membership to Trent Radio. So anybody who has the Welcome Pass
would be able to.
So that allows them to have a show.
Okay.
But then this isn't confirmed or anything. I'm still waiting to have a meeting, but we're hoping, us at Trent Radio are hoping to organize a workshop in the fall at some point with the New Canadian Center. Because I think it's a little bit intimidating. You see all of these things that are part of the Welcome Pass, and you see that one is Trent Radio. The number of people that are going to reach out to Trent Radio on their own is probably small. But if there's if there is a workshop that I lead at the New Canadian Center, that's hey, we want you folks to have radio shows. That's why we're giving these. What is this?
I was just going to help you put a face to what you're talking about.
Okay.
This is the coupon. And I've always had it, like I said, when I came in, but, just to buttress what you're saying, the fact that it's right here, but I really didn't know. Wow. I never really used it.
Yeah.
And so, just to buttress what you're saying. So a workshop would actually help to make this come alive. Because a lot of people, trust me, have skills, you know, have things that they are willing to share, but they don't know how much opportunities are available. They don't know that they could even come in here. For instance, if I didn't walk to that coffee shop that day and I didn't see that, I would never have known. So yeah, you want to get the word out there more.
So you received this? Was this in the last year?
Yes, this was April 2024.
So you are a member. You're already you're a member of Trent Radio.
Yeah. April 2024.
No, that's great. That's so funny that you just that you had it on you.
As we're talking about it, I think I have this in my bag, so let me just pull it out.
Wow. But yeah, so I think we are going to be in this next season as well. So,
great.
And the workshop would be really just like, I think there would be two parts. Like, I think we would bring some recording equipment, and you know how I played that thing called a station ID at the beginning that just says you're listening to Trent Radio.
Yeah.
And we would just bring some recording stuff and allow people to record their own. That just says, you're listening to Trent Radio, and I'm Eddie, and we're at the New Canadian Centre.
Great.
So there's a value of going to the workshop, even if you didn't want to have a season-long show. But then also we would just help think about what you might want to do for a show and what works as a show and what doesn't, and try and guide people to a spot where they feel comfortable having a radio show.
Sounds exciting, and I'm sure that a lot of people would love to be a part of it.
I hope so. I hope this does in fact happen. I'm still waiting on a couple people to email me back. I think it's going to be, we're aiming for October. So
please make it work.
Yes.
Tell them about Ola.
Yes. Yeah, no, I hope it does. But yeah. And this was a positive radio experience. You would do it again?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you should follow us on Instagram then, so you can see these stuff without relying on the wall at a coffee shop.
Yeah. Sure, definitely.
Yes. Well, I did want to ask a question or two about your project here. What was the title again? Sorry.
Letters Across Time.
Letters Across Time. This Brigid, is it Brigid with a T or a D?
Yeah.
Brigid.
G-I-D. Brigid.
Brigid. Was this based on a real person?
Was it what?
Was Brigid based on a real person?
Yes. So I just picked a persona, of someone in 1825. What would their name, look like? Yeah.
So like this was, Brigid is not an
person.
person.
Oh, it's imaginary.
So where did you get some of this information then? Because you obviously did some level of research to write from the perspective of somebody who moved to Peterborough in 1825 from Ireland, Cork. So how did you go about researching this Brigid character?
Amazing. We live in a world where information is everywhere today. So I definitely went online, and my first place was YouTube. It was interesting, the amount of videos that I found about the story. And of course, with the script that was given about the event, I was able to pull out a few things that I used in the course of my research. And that led me to the exact and specifics that I needed to get. So to answer your question, I used YouTube, to search. I relied on my Google search. And of course, I consulted AI assistants as well, to put some of those things together.
Yeah, wow. And so you said you kind of had the idea before you saw the calls for shows for this. I guess why, I don't know, maybe this is too open of a question, but why did you want to do this format of letters? Because there are all sorts of different ways that you can write as a writer. Many of them, creative writing, they don't bring you in as a voice and as a character, as the writer. But letters, this is explicitly from Ola. It's in there in the writing. So you chose a format that makes you both writer and character. Is this format something that called to you, and why did you want to do that?
Okay, so I think that would stem from my love for voice acting.
Okay.
Yes, and recently I also took a course in it. And a lot of the things we did in that program was to try to mimic different voices, different voice textures, different characters. And you're supposed to assume, those characters and make them come alive. So I think that just guided when I was thinking of the best way to deliver this and ensure that the message hits home. I think that idea of voice acting, being able to interplay between different characters, and not just different characters, different times, 1825. I don't know how well I was able to deepen my voice and make it sound like, this is from 1825. Yeah. No. So yeah, that's like what really inspired it. My love for voice acting and being able to interplay with different voice textures. And
yeah, that's actually... Before I worked here, I wanted to do some voice acting stuff as well. I think it's so amazing. People that really like voice acting. Like, I do a lot of stage theater, and I thought that a lot of those skills would work just in voice as well. And of course they do. And radio, that's a lot of transferable skills between voice acting, of course.
Something I've never tried.
Yeah. Oh no, I love it.
Scary.
It's scary, but in the same way that going live, like hitting that transmitter button, and now there are tens or hundreds of people listening to us right now have this conversation. Theater on the stage is just another version of that, like anxiety. Yeah. No, you were very, like, reading, you felt very comfortable, and maybe that is like taking courses in voice acting, but what a lot of people who are unfamiliar speaking on radio, a problem that they have is they speak so fast. When you're nervous, you just want to fly through your script.
Yes.
But you were slow and controlled, and like that's perfect. And it was great.
Thank you.
Yeah. What course did you take in voice acting?
It was just a voiceover masterclass. So, and I think that ran for like 4 weeks every weekend. So that's just what voice acting masterclass. Yeah,
so it was an online class.
It was.
There's a voice acting workshop in Toronto that I might go to next year. Yeah, or I might try to. I don't remember the school's name off the top of my head, but I have a friend in town that is like a professional musician and is trying to get into some professional voice acting as well. So she did a lot of theater when she was younger, and she highly recommended this voice acting course that's over, I think it's 6 weeks in person in Toronto. And like I think I might do it. It's in the spring. So great. Voice acting is really cool.
It is. And I love the fact that it's in person. I think that's going to make the experience even deeper. Yeah. I wished I was there in person for this one because it was sort of hybrid. Those who were in the same location were able to go in, and while the rest of us joined online. So it was a hybrid event.
So some people got to have those relationships with each other, and then others didn't really. Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm definitely guilty of speaking too fast into these microphones sometimes. My personal show last year, my name's Eddie, was called Edtime Stories, like bedtime stories, where it was on Monday nights, and I just read books. I read the Narnia series, the Chronicles of Narnia. I think in a year I read the first 3 or 4 just for reading 1 hour a week, which was fun. So I might bring that back in the fall. I'm not
Please
sure.
Do.
So we've got 3 minutes left. Is there anything? Is there anything else you want to share about these letters across time?
So I don't know. When I was preparing it, like I said, it's always been in bits and pieces in my head until the call for this show sort of helped me to put everything together. I made it sound like this. I was thinking, is this something I could develop? Could it go beyond a one-time presentation just for today? That's why when I was talking about the fact that I would love to talk about career development on radio, it's still a bit of me thinking, should I follow this, this line? It's an idea that I think has some potentials. How that's going to go, I don't know. Yeah, but I definitely believe in it.
Well, your career development one is obviously valuable and impactful, but this is like having some like an ongoing, it almost feels like a pen pal relationship, but like a fictional pen pal relationship that you're doing this writing experiment that's also almost like your own personal journal, and it's that is a very cool use of radio. So if you have any want to pursue that, I encourage you to do that. That would be really, really cool. Both are really cool, but that's like, there have been career development shows in the past on our radio station. I don't know of anything that would be like an ongoing.
Okay.
Yeah. So if uniqueness is important to you, that might be one. And it would let you do some voice acting for fun once a week. Yeah.
Thank you. I think you're expanding the idea in my mind already. Yeah.
I'm Eddie Sweeney, and I've been in the studio with
Jumoke Fatuki.
And thank you so much for joining as part of our radio project day about the 200th anniversary of the Peter Robinson emigration program to this area in 1825. Thanks for listening to Letters Across Time, and thanks for joining me in the studio.
Thank you, Eddie. It was really fun being here. I look forward to being back.
Yes, I really hope. I'll send you an email if I don't see your program proposal come in. If we reach that deadline, I'll let you know.
Thank you. Thank you so much.